What's up, Christ Center Mental Health community? This is me, David Lydia Sarchet, representing Christ Center Mental Health, the ministry where I talk about mental health awareness from a Christian perspective in order to give you real hope in Jesus' name to the glory of God the Father by the power of the Holy Spirit. Alright, before I get started on this video, I just have a couple announcements. The first announcement is that you can support this ministry through prayer, and you can also support this ministry through the Patreon account. And also, there's also, for those of you that live in the Toledo, Ohio area, there's a Christ Center Mental Health fellowship group or on the meetup app, where we're going to meet in local areas such as coffee shops and libraries and stuff like that for a time of fellowship and Bible study and discussion on faith and mental illness topics. So if you live in the Toledo, Ohio area and you would like to meet up, please check this out. I would like to get to know you guys in person, so please feel free to check this out. Our first meetup is gonna be on March 16th. The times will be 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So yeah, check that out. The links to both of these will be in the description box below. Now, so as you can tell, the title of this video is How I Knew My Wife Was the One. This is our story. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because mine and my wife's story about how we came to know each other and grew in love with each other and decided that we were meant to be married to each other is actually a testament to the sovereignty of the Lord over all events in life, and it's for his, and it all works out for his ultimate glory. Because honestly, our purpose in life, no matter what we do, no matter what we're about, no matter where we go in life, no matter what, everything is for His glory. I love the saying from the Reformation period that says "Solo Deo Gloria," which means to God alone be the glory, because it's all about God's glory. God alone is the one who gets ultimate glory in everything, and mine and my wife's marriage is built around the glory of God. We focus, we are so dedicated to glorifying God that we just know that He gets the glory in everything. In our marriage, He gets the glory. In our individual lives, He gets the glory in everything, and He's so good to us. So that's so I want to talk about this to pretty much give glory to God for our marriage. Talk about, and also I want to give people who struggle with mental illness hope that they will one day get married too. Because I understand what it's like to think that if you have a mental illness, you'll never get married, and you might as well just lose hope. So this video is to give people with mental illness some kind of hope to know that they can still get married even though they have a mental illness. Trust me, I've been there. I know what it's like to get discouraged and think that there's no one that's going to love you for you because of your mental illness. So as I tell you our story, I hope that you will enjoy this, and I hope that you'll find hope in our story, and I hope that you'll learn to just trust God for your love story. Alright, so it started off so basically me and my wife, we actually technically were running around in the same circles on the internet for a long time. We just never actually knew each other. Well, she actually heard about me a while back, many years ago, when I was first on YouTube, and I came out with my video, which to this day is my most popular video, titled "Why I Adore Black Women." She saw that video, and she wasn't impressed by the video. Actually, her first thought when she first saw the video was, "This man is not marriage material," and and she just she put it away and decided to just ignore it. And then later on, she came across me again because it was during my SJW time when I was a social justice warrior, and I was making all these videos against white people, and an anti-SJW named Bering made 2 videos about me, and she came across me again through him, and she was laughing at me because of him. And which, by the way, like, this goes to show you, like, um those of you that don't think that you'll ever, like, decide you'll ever want to be with someone. Like, don't ever say that, because you never know what God has in store for you, because she didn't think in a million years that she would be with me, and now look what happened. So then talk about and then also I have and then also that during this time when I first met her, I already came to a point in my life where I resolved that my life would eventually end up with me being in a mental health group home, because I was thinking my mental illness was going to progress to the point where I would eventually end up in a mental health group home. So I decided to live my life by myself, but I was going to live for the Lord while I still could, for as long as I could, until my mind eventually slipped and I just, like, went off the deep end and had to go to a mental health group home. I mean, there was still a part of me that did hope that I would still get married, but that hope was slowly dying down. Um, and then so then when we start then like she decided that she was going to start to um she was gonna start looking for someone to marry, like a couple years after her 30th birthday. And but, like, in the meantime, she was, like, actually wanting to write a Christian A&BW book, which, those of you that don't know what an A&BW book, what an A&BW is, it's Asian men, black women. And so she wanted to write a Christian A&BW story. And so she joined some A&BW groups on Facebook, and she came across me. She didn't recognize me at the time, but she came across me and she saw that I was in a group called Reform Bars, which she was in, which is a Christian hip hop group. And so she added me as a friend. She was just wanting to talk to me and get to know me as a friend. And then she realized when I posted a YouTube video that I was the person that Bering talked about. And she messaged me and she asked me if I was the Asian Dave, which, by the way, was my old YouTube name. And I explained to her that that's who I used to be, and I'm no longer that. I since changed since then, and we talked some more, um, and then, like, we started talking on the phone, and, like, we started getting, like, very important very important issues out of the way early on in our conversations. Like, there was a couple things that she wanted when she was looking for a godly man to marry, those things were, she wanted him to be theologically sound, which means she wanted him to be reformed. She also wanted him to believe that that Arminianism was a false gospel. And then also on my end, I wanted a woman who was theologically sound, which meant I wanted her to be reformed, and I wanted her to believe that Arminianism is a false gospel as well. And I also wanted the woman I was interested in to have an understanding of mental illness, or at least have a desire to learn about mental illness. And so, like I said, we got these issues out of the way early on in our conversations. And after about, like, the first conversation I had with her, I knew that at that point that I wanted to marry her. Like, I knew it because, like, I mean, she met all my criteria, and I knew right away that I wanted to marry her. But I decided to hold off until I told her I love her, until I got to meet her in person first. Which, by the way, like, when I finally did meet her in person and we went on a few dates, and then, like, I was the one who said I love you first by, like, through Amazon. I bought her for Christmas. I asked her what she wanted for Christmas, and she told me she wanted unicorn pajamas. And she didn't think I was actually going to get them for her, but I went on Amazon, found her unicorn pajamas, and sent them to her through Amazon with a note saying I love you. So I was the first one to say I love you. But yeah. Um and then So we, like I said, we went on a few days in Chicago because like our first day we met up in Chicago because she had a race. She was a runner, so or she is a runner, and so we met in Chicago during one of her races, and so we went on a few days in Chicago, and then eventually I proposed to her on one of our visits in Chicago, and then on July 24th, 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, we ended up getting married. We were planning on getting married in 2021, but because of the pandemic and because Wisconsin. By the way, she's from Wisconsin, and I'm originally from Colorado, but I live in Ohio now. And but because Wisconsin was like being shut down, and we were afraid that if we waited too long, we wouldn't be able to get married. At least not at the time period that we wanted to. So we it wasn't a courthouse wedding. It was a chat. We got married inside of a chapel. And yeah, so hold on. The camera. Ah, come on. That everybody is meant, like most people in this world are meant to get married, and like very few people, it's very rare that people will not get married. Like it's very rare for people to be single. Like I firmly believe that. Like I believe that most people are meant to get married, and like the desire for marriage is a good and godly desire. And but the thing is, like most people try and rush into it, like they try and do things their own way. But if you just seek the Lord and pursue a relationship with the Lord first and seek His kingdom, God will lead you to the perfect person that you're meant to be with in His timing. And God is never late. Like I know one of the biggest issues that I had and a lot of people have when it comes to the idea of getting married is they think that they're going to end up, if they wait on the Lord, that they're going to end up waiting till they're like 60, 70 years old when they're old, and they won't be able to and they won't be able to enjoy life with their spouse at that time. But the thing is, don't assume that. Like yeah, I ended up waiting till I was in my 30s before I got married. But you know what? I like I I don't think 30 being 30 is all that late to get married. Um, like God's timing is always perfect. I know that when I was younger, when I first wanted to get married, I really wasn't ready for marriage. I wasn't marriage material when I was younger. But like God had to take the time to really mold my character and develop me into the man that my wife will one day need. So, like if you're like I said, like if you struggle with mental illness and you're wanting to get married, then don't give up on that hope. You will be able to experience marriage. I promise you this. Like you will. Like I said, it's very rare that someone has the gift of singleness, and like most people are meant to get married. I don't know. I don't know what this if there's been studies out done on this, like, but I'm pretty sure the studies will bear this out that most people do end up getting married in their life. Like very rare do people remain single their whole entire life. So um yeah, like, so don't lose hope, don't get discouraged, just continue pursuing the Lord, continue taking care of your mental health, and just wait on God, and God will lead you to your significant other that you're meant to be with. And the thing is, like God is going to conform you to the image of his son, because the purpose of marriage is holiness, not happiness. Like, yes, there is happiness in marriage, and that happiness is a byproduct of marriage, but that's not the purpose of marriage. The purpose of marriage is to image Christ's relationship with his bride, which is the church. So you need to keep that in mind. Once you really understand this concept, that the purpose of marriage is to image Christ's relationship with his bride, then that changes how you view marriage, and that will change how you approach relationships that you get into for the purpose of developing, seeing if you can marry this person. So keep that in mind when you go into a relationship with someone, when you get into a courtship or a dating relationship with someone. Keep in mind that this person is potentially someone you can marry, and keep in mind that marriage is a picture of Jesus Christ's relationship with his bride, which is the church. And like husbands are meant to be the leaders of the household. They teach their wives, they build their wives up, and they encourage their wives, and they comfort their wives, and they protect their wives, and um, they pretty much they provide for their wives. So like that's what the husbands are the leaders of the household, and wives are called to submit to their husbands, because the husbands are to sacrifice their lives for their wives, and the wives are supposed to submit to their husbands like Christ, or like the church submits to Christ. So keep that in mind. I know this isn't a popular teaching nowadays because of feminism, and people think that it's wrong to encourage women to submit. But I mean, husbands get the harder deal, because we're told to die for our wives. Like like so like I mean, you gotta keep that in mind. Like, anyways, so actually, Pastor Vody Balcom actually has a really good sermon series on love and marriage. I highly suggest, after you watch this video, that you check out Vody Balcom's sermon series on love and marriage, because he really unpacks what it means for husbands to be the leaders of the household, and for wives to submit to their husbands. Like, it's phenomenal, like his sermon series on love and marriage. It's like a three-part sermon series. You could like there's actually a video on YouTube that put all the sermons together in like a 3 hour long video, but you can watch it in parts, or you can it's really good. It's well worth the watch. Anyways, so that's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think about anything that I said in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this, and as always, like, I hope you have a good day today. If you feel like this ministry has blessed you, please give to this ministry via the Patreon account. Like, you can support the ministry through prayer, and you can also support the ministry through the Patreon. If you do give to the Patreon, it'll give you access to a private Discord community for online peer support and fellowship. It'll also give you access to a daily devotional Monday through Friday on faith and mental illness. Um, and like finally, I want to let you guys know that this ministry does have a 24-hour peer support line. So if you call the ministry peer support line at 567-343-3727, you can talk to me directly. I'm not a mental health professional, but I do offer my services as a peer support. As someone who struggles with mental illness, I can offer you peer support. Um, or you can email me at christcentermentalhealth@gmail.com. And also, my ministry team's emails will also be in the description box below, so you can talk to one of them as well. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. Have a good day. God bless you, and stay strong in the Lord. All right, bye.